Someone in the far west once said that if a person with great power just spectates when evil is being done, then they are no different than the evildoer themselves. A person looks like the last person standing on the battlefield. Looks like the battle has just finished. He then notices footsteps. He looks that way to see a girl in a white horse. He looks at her carefully. She was truly a beautiful girl. But wait, was she an enemy? If so, then he must fight, but he did not want to fight her. He did not want to kill her. Scene cuts to a bot named Byra. The bear was calling him for breakfast. But they wanted Byra to go and get fish for them. He was playing with the bears. Seems like he was raised by a bear. Since childhood, he lived in the deep woods. Originally, he was accompanied by a grandfather who was not related by blood. But when he was 3 years old, his grandfather suddenly left him. He stood up to get the bread, but then saw smoke in front of him. This made Byra curious. But then he tells the bear smoke or not, it was not his business. He decides to avoid the nuisance and look the other way. The bears were happy and expected a lot of fish from Byra. Byra shouts that he will be going to the stream and for their breakfast shall be the fried fish. So, he tells them to prepare firewood to fry the fish when he comes back. The fight from earlier seems to have been continuing in the forest. The man and the horse was being followed by some kind of pots. He was running away at full speed. Then he heard a voice from the pot stating that running away makes him more excited. A trident comes out of the talking pot to test the ability of the person who pointed his weapon at the sect leader. He manages to block the trident and cut the pot in half. From the pot numerous snakes came out. The snakes all land on his face. The talking jar smirks and says that he had chosen the wrong pot. But this did not stop the man. He managed to get rid of most of the snakes. But the poison had infected him. In the river, Byra was picking food for the bear, murmuring how they have gotten picky with their food. Byra was only doing this because of the cubs. He was going to stop after they got older. Byra caught numerous fish and grouped them. But now how was he supposed to take them home? While looking at the fishes, he sees someone far away. It was the person from earlier fighting the pots. He gets knocked out from his horse and is surrounded by the pots. He pants and manages to stand. Only one of the pots held the main body, and he was supposed to find it to at least have a chance of fighting. The person had no idea what to do and how to find the person in the jar. But suddenly, Byra opens one of the jars and asks the person inside to borrow the jar, as it would be just perfect to carry all the salmon that he had just caught. The person inside the jar and the fighter both were stunned for some time. He then comes to his senses and asks the kid to be careful and get away from the jar while attacking it. He manages to slice the jar and Byra gets tossed in the side. The person from the jar looked furious, stating that did not count since he was not the one who found him. So, he plans to kill him painfully. Seeing the monster, the person was all sweaty. Even Byra was surprised. The monster had the ability to show horrendous hallucinations, and Byra seems to have been caught in it. 2 kids were drinking juice on the mountaintop. They were amused by that stuff. But one of them had drank all the juice. The other told him that he was a stingy one, and in reply the first guy said that there was only 1 gulp left. It was that person who was hallucinating. The monster told the person to enjoy now, as in mere moments he was going to have painful suffering, as the monster was going to make him die feeling shame and desperate. Byra casually walks and wishes to say something. He scolds the guy for breaking someone's jar, asks him to apologize, and asks the monster if he can take one of the jars. This shocks the monster. He could have sworn that the kid was under the influence of the hallucination, but what the hell was wrong with him? Byra then shouts at the man, telling him to ask for forgiveness. This makes the monster shocked, as this could stop his hallucination. The person then slowly wakes up and sees the monster in front. This again shocks both. He again tosses Byra aside, telling her that it is dangerous. The monster then starts attacking again, but he manages to cut the monster's foot, but he was also injured with the poison from earlier. Byra was feeling ominous and wanted to get out of there as soon as he could. Suddenly the monster takes out the whistle from his nose and blows it. Swarms of snakes fly out from the pots. Ah shit, Byra thought. The man then carries Byra and tells him that he is not letting the kid die. But Byra was thinking about how the bears will get angry with hunger if he gets any late. The monster was very annoyed. He regenerates his feet. The man looks at the kid tensed and thinks if the kid had been poisoned too, but the kid was just pretending to have been fainted to find an opening and run away. The man fights with all his might trying to save the kid, but the kid could not care less about the fight. He was thinking if he could take the snakes with him too to eat, but the bears might complain about the taste. The man on the other hand thinks that Byra was poisoned, and he needed to take him to the hospital. He trips and they both fall into the water. The monster had its trident ready to attack them, but as he was about to, the trident smashes into pieces and the monster gets blown back. The man is worried about the kid asking if he can hear him. He then carries the child and swiftly tries to get away from there. The monster on the other hand was confused about what had just happened. He then goes back to his flashback. He questioned himself why the sect leader not just killed the prisoner. Why was he allowed to leave? The expression on sect leader tore the monster's heart out, and he never wanted to see that expression on the sect leader's face ever again. He thinks that the man will be nothing but trouble if left alive, so he promises to punish the man. He then orders his snakes to go after the man, vowing to not let him escape and kill him at all costs. The man is running with his full force, but the poison was taking an effect on him. He slipped down on every step, pushing himself up then slipping down again. He had to get out of there no matter what for the child he was carrying. Byra was also thinking that he should not have come out to fish today at all. The man looks back to see that a huge swarm of snakes were heading towards them with the monster on the top. The monster found it hilarious that he could not even take care of himself because of the snake poison from earlier. He uses a technique called Dance of Poison in order to kill. The man thinks that it was a hallucination, but Byra shouts that it is not. Seeing that Byra was healthy, he was relieved, but Byra had just forgotten about the faint acting he was doing. The man puts down Byra on the ground and told him to just run away as he buys time for him and not let a single snake get to him. Byra then casually says okay and runs. The man is fighting with all his might while Byra was casually going upstream. His body had given up. He was not able to move. He looks at his pendant and grieves on the only thing that he regrets, which was being unable to verify the death of his friends with his own 2 eyes. The monster was just playing with the man. He asks why he was dragging the fight out and challenges the monster to end the fight if he was a true warrior. The monster thinks of him as a pain and tells him that it is up to him how he wanted to kill for the crime of pointing his weapon at the sect leader. He vows to not let him die in peace, and most importantly, even when he was released, how dare he take the sect leader's accessory. The monster questions what he did to the sect leader. The way she looked as he rode off, the monster was furious seeing that and had sworn to rip him to shreds and make him suffer. He falls on his face and the snakes start surrounding him. The monster was coming to get the sect leader's accessory from him. But suddenly he sees the kid again. He tells the kid to go away if he did not want to die. The kid sighs and he tells the monster to stand down. And if he chose to ignore Byra's warning, then he was not going to take responsibility for what was going to happen next. The monster realizes that the trident that broke earlier, it was that boy. Byra released a tremendous aura. The monster was scared and wanted to flee the area. An aura hits the monster. He thinks that he is going to die like this, but when he opens his eyes, he sees that he is still alive, but there was no one around. They had just vanished from the monster's sight. In the city, while writing a letter, a man senses a disturbance. He could sense something dark, cold with a scent of steel rusted and a familiar breeze that carried it. He wonders if there is something interesting to see nearby. He then transforms himself into an owl and flies, stating that the hot spring town will soon receive honorable guests.
Thank you for joining us in this recap journey. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button. Comment if you have suggestions, want more of the series. Don't forget to share it with your friends. Do subscribe if you want more similar content. This is aniversenexus, your passport to the immersive realms of anime and manga.